Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to go through the scripture here. What I'm doing here is to actually emphasize and talk about Matthew chapter 6 verse number 21, but I'm not going to talk about 21 exactly, but I'm going to add some verses on that. Now, the reason why I am taking out or maybe focusing more on 21, it is because of that is where actually Jesus actually came out and told us on what exactly he was talking about in verse number 19 and 20, right? So what I'm going to do is to just do some 3 verses that are going to complement that, or that are going to tell us about our hearts. Okay, because it seems like Jesus Christ was trying to tell us about our hearts, to actually make sure that our hearts are guarded, or perhaps to be careful that our hearts don't find themselves at the wrong place, maybe being messed up because of our treasure. All right, now the first thing that I want to say, guys, is this. When you read Matthew 6 verse number 19, 20 and 21, you will actually find out, or you will actually realize that this thing of treasure, all right, treasure and heart. Okay, now treasure, it seems like whether we like it or not, okay, whether we, even if you can try to pray and stop it, I don't think I don't think you can stop it. Okay, because it seems like where there is treasure, when Jesus looked at life and looked at the earth, it seems like when there is treasure, if you have treasure somewhere or around you, there is treasure, it seems like your heart will be there. It will attract your heart, whether you like it or not. It will draw your heart to it. That is why he doesn't say, when he speaks about this, he doesn't say, don't make your heart follow your treasure. But he says, where your treasure is, your heart will be there also. So in other words, that will happen. But there is a way you can actually do this. There is a way you can actually make sure that your heart, all right, it's not affected badly or negatively. Now, the first thing that he does, he actually says, lay your treasure in heaven. So at least your heart will be in heaven. Okay, at least the location is good, which is heaven, and there will be no one who's going to steal, or the moth or rust is not going to do anything to actually, destroy the treasure, which as a result is your heart. Okay, because where your treasure is, your heart is there. It seems like your treasure will always drag your heart over there. Now, when that happens, make sure that everything is in heaven. Okay, now let us read, guys. I'm going to read Proverbs 4 verse number 23. It reads as follows in the New King James Version: keep your heart with all diligence. Now, the word diligent, it means you can also use careful, be careful, or you can also use take care of it. Okay, so he says, keep your heart with all diligence, take care of your heart, be careful with your heart. Now, he doesn't only end there, but there is a reason why he says take care of your heart. The next thing he says is, for our heart, for out of it, out of your heart, springs the issues of life. That is where the issues of life come out. Let me make an example. That is why you will hear people say, I hate this person with all my heart. That is why you will hear people say, my heart doesn't want this guy. I hate him, I hate her, or anything like that. Right? Because it comes from the heart. Now, whatever that comes from your heart or comes out of your heart, it might affect you negatively, it might affect you positively. Okay, it depends on where your heart is. Remember Jesus, your heart is in heaven or earth. If it's on earth, it's on earth, it might affect you negatively. Okay, let me say, it will affect you negatively. All right, because they can steal it, they can destroy it, they can do whatever. Okay, especially when the issues of life come out of it. Okay, there's gonna be a problem because the foundation is the earth, and the people whom their foundation is the earth, or their source is the earth, usually what comes out of their heart, it could be evil, it could be bad. Because you remember, I made an example also in that video. I said to you, that is why other people, when their treasures, their assets, their riches, their whatever that they owned or whatever that they possessed goes away, or maybe stolen, or maybe is corrupted or destroyed. Some of them, they kill people. Some of them, they kill their families. They do all these things. And also some of them, they commit some evil things, because they are trying to I don't know why they're trying to make themselves better or anything like that. So you can see that when treasure is affected, even your heart will be affected. Okay, Jesus Christ was talking about a very deep thing here, right? That is why in that video I said it is not about you coming to church, bringing money to church, and then you say that is your heaven. No, it's a deeper thing. All right, now, and then let's go to Isaiah 33. It says wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of your times. And then he says, and the strength of salvation. We can leave that out, and let's just read the last sentence there. Okay, we are leaving it out, guys, not because I can't talk about it, but I'm trying to save time. It says the fear of the Lord is his treasure. It doesn't say the treasure is the fear of the Lord. No, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. In other words, if you fear the Lord, or when you fear God, that to God will be treasure. You remember there is a verse, guys, that says the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. It seems like the fear of the Lord, it is something that is important to God, and God treasures when you fear God, when you fear him. And also, to me, when I look at what Jesus said in Matthew 6, it seems like when you are laying up your treasure in heaven, you are actually demonstrating or showing that you fear the Lord. Why? Because you are making God the priority. You are making God the foundation. Okay? And since God is the foundation, guess what? It shows that you fear the Lord. Now, let's talk a bit about fear. Fearing God, guys, I believe that fear, it can only be used to fear God. That is why the Bible, I don't know how many times, the Bible will say, do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. Even people, do not fear people. I'm going to say it. Do not fear anyone. I mean, even your pastor. Yes, anyone who's a human being. The Bible always say, do not fear them. Right? Now, usually, there is also a verse which says, do not be afraid or do not fear anyone who can only kill the body, but fear the one who can kill the body and the soul. Your pastor, my pastor, whoever who is a human being, okay, who stands in front of us, even our presidents, our whatever, anyone who is a leader. The Bible doesn't say we must fear them, but I believe he also actually it says we must respect them. Okay, now the reason why we respect them, because they are our leaders. We don't fear them, because the word fear, it can only be used on God. We can only fear God, not human beings. Now, if you use this word fear to anyone who stands in front of you or who is a human being, in other words, you are replacing God. And you are using the word that you should be using on God, you are using it on human beings. And it becomes a problem, because that person, when he realizes or she realizes that you fear them, they can use it against you. They can manipulate you easily because you fear them. Okay, all I'm saying, guys, as I close this one, I'm saying the word fear, it should be used on God only, because we only fear God, because he can kill the soul and the body. You don't use this on human beings. We respect human beings. We don't fear them. Right? Don't care how anointed the person is. I don't care how great the person is, how big the person is. Doesn't matter. You don't fear them. Even if they can threaten to take your body, that's the only thing they will take. But fear the one who can take your soul, who can kill your soul. Dead, soul, done. Okay? Now, let's go on and read the last verse, Luke 12. We read verse number 34. This one is interesting because Luke here, when I say Luke, I'm not saying Luke, I'm saying the person here. Luke was actually, I believe that he said these words because maybe he read it somewhere when Jesus actually said them. He says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. He says the same words that Jesus said. But let's read 33, because we have to find out, where does he come from? Where does he come from when he said that? Did he actually said it the way Jesus said it? Right? Especially in verse 19 and 20. Does Luke actually use the same thing? All right, but let's check. He says in verse 33, sell what you have. Okay, it comes from another angle. Sell what you have. In other words, you've got something, you've got treasure, if I may put it that way. Oh, guys, this is so strong. You've got treasure, right? And then he says, okay, you've got treasure, you've got things or assets or anything. He says, sell what you have and give alms. Okay? Sell what you have and give alms. There is another version, I think it's King James version. It says, sell so you may have. Oh, good. That is good, right? Sell so that you may have. Here it says, sell what you have and give alms. Okay? And then it says, provide yourselves money bags which do not grow old. Now, guys, in 33, when it says, sell what you have, in other words, you are selling what you already have. It is something that you can sell. Okay? So it means what you have, it's temporary. What you have, it's not eternal. Okay? Don't put your trust or don't make what you have a source of your treasure. Okay? Don't make that a source of your treasure. Now, he says that is why he says sell. Because when he says sell, it means when you are able to sell, it means you understand that that's not your source of life. That it's not the foundation of your life. And then he says, and give alms. Okay? This verse, actually, this first one here, it reminds me of the story that I mentioned in that video. I said there was a guy who came to Jesus and said, I want to be, what must I do to be? And then he says, I've kept the commandments. And Jesus said, go and sell whatever you have and give to the poor. This is the same thing. And give to the poor, and then to do what? And then you will be okay. All right. And then that guy was like, he didn't want to do that and all of that. And then he walked away very sad and everything. Okay. And then it says also, when it continues, provide yourselves money bags which do not grow old. Guys, he speaks about bags here. And I'm asking myself, which bags that do not grow old? There is only one place you can find bags that will not grow old. Now, I don't know if heaven does have bags. I don't think so. I know other people, they will say so. I don't know. I don't want to be as if like I know, but I am assuming that actually Luke is making an example of a bag that if you want a place to contain or want your place to actually store your treasure, right? It is heaven. You can see where he says money bags which do not grow old, a treasure in the heavens that does not fail. Okay, so if now, oh guys, this is good. Now, I don't know if my interpretation on this is good, but when he says a treasure in the heavens that does not fail, it means he says provide yourselves money bags. Money bags talks about money. It's good because it talks about money. The money that we have today, I can say that also. Provide yourselves money bags which do not grow old, a treasure in the heavens that does not fail. Okay, in other words, these bags, they don't grow old. You know why? Because of they are carrying a treasure that is in heaven that does not fail. In other words, the only bag you can actually have, the only bag that you wear, the only place you can get this bag that will actually carry the treasure that is in heaven, that you have placed in heaven. Okay, that does not fail. You can only find that bag in heaven. Okay, so in other words, the place that where you need to store your treasure, it is in heaven. Okay, because the treasure that you store, it doesn't fail. So and all of that. So where no thief approaches, no moth destroys. It's interesting that he says where no thieves approaches, they don't even approach. They don't even try to come close. Okay, because it's in heaven. There is no thief that can go to heaven and try. They are like they will not even reach there. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You can see that he's using another angle, he's using another thinking. Okay, providing yourself money bags. Okay, that does not grow old. You will never find a bag here on earth that will not grow old. Every bag here on earth grows old. That means they can also destroy, they can also spoil, they can also corrupt what? Your treasure. So the only place that can be your bag, it's heaven. Because why? Your treasure is there. Now it means if your treasure is in heaven, right, and the place or the place your treasure is heaven. That's where your heart will be, right? So in other words, the bag for you to carry the treasure is also in heaven. It's not on earth. Okay? Why? Because the treasure is it does not fail, guys. Like, it's very clear, all right? You don't have to try and put things. These things, guys, are heavenly things. Doesn't talk about church, taking your money to church. No. Talks about the bag that does not grow old. It's in heaven. It's not your church. Church grows old. Sometimes it falls, people come in and steal. But here he talks about something that cannot be stolen, and there is nothing that can touch it. And there is only one place, that is heaven. Okay? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the message. Please like and subscribe to the channel. That will be appreciated. Have a fantastic day. As I always close it, of course, God bless you.